Africa's biggest secret, the untold story of the Great Zimbabwe Empire. Hidden in the heart of southern Africa lies one of history's most astonishing civilizations, the Great Zimbabwe Empire, 11th to 15th century. This massive stone city, built without mortar, was the center of a gold trading superpower that dominated the Indian Ocean trade. Yet for centuries, European colonizers refused to believe Africans could have built it, falsely attributing it to Phoenicians or even the Queen of Sheba. The truth they tried to bury. Wealth beyond imagination, controlled 80% of the world's gold trade at its peak. Advanced engineering, towering stone walls, 36 feet high, rivaled medieval Europe's castles. African mastery, evidence confirms it was built by the Shona people, debunking racist myths. Why was this erased? Colonial powers stole artifacts, distorted history, and suppressed the truth to justify exploitation. Today, Great Zimbabwe stands as a symbol of stolen legacy, proof that Africa's history was far more advanced than textbooks admit. The secret? Africa's past was never primitive. It was plundered. Here's the untold truth: Africa's colonizers never wanted you to know the real Africa's biggest secret. The stolen civilization, ancient Africa's global dominance. Timbuktu's billion-dollar library. Medieval Mali's University of Sankara held 1 million plus manuscripts, astronomy, math, law, burned/destroyed by invaders. Fact: Timbuktu was richer than Europe in the 1300s, Mansa Musa's gold crash bankrupted Egypt. The Black Pharaohs who ruled Egypt. The Nubian Kushite Empire, Sudan, conquered Egypt in 732 BC. Their pyramids? Twice as many as Egypt's. Hidden fact: Euro historians labeled them foreign invaders to erase black African rule. Pre-colonial African science. Ethiopian surgeons performed successful cataract eye surgery in 600 BC. Yoruba metallurgy created bronze art centuries before Europe. The lost African wall. The Great Wall of Benin, Nigeria, was 4x longer than China's, demolished by British cannons in 1897. Why this was buried? Colonial powers rewrote history to paint Africa as primitive and justify slavery/exploitation. But archaeology doesn't lie. Africa birthed empires, universities, and tech long before colonization. The secret? Africa's glory was stolen, but its legacy can't be destroyed. Africa's biggest secret, Part 2: The Lost War Machines and Forbidden Gold. 1. The African Wakanda that really existed. The Kingdom of Kush, Sudan, had iron weapons 1,000 years before Europe, with archers so feared the Romans paid them not to attack. Secret fact: their Napatan battle tactics inspired Egyptian warfare, but credit was stolen. 2. The stolen billion-dollar gold mines. Great Zimbabwe's gold mines, Zimbabwe, produced 40-plus tons of gold for Arab/Indian traders until Portugal massacred miners and seized control in the 1500s. Today, De Beers still controls Africa's diamonds while denying locals fair pay. 3. The African samurai you never heard of. The Agaja, Dahomey Amazons, were an all-female army so deadly, French colonizers needed machine guns to defeat them in 1894. Erased fact: they inspired Black Panther's Dora Milaje, but Hollywood won't tell the real story. 4. The Forbidden Libraries of Timbuktu. When France invaded Mali, 1894, they burned 250,000 plus ancient texts including star maps proving Africans studied astronomy before Galileo. Hidden truth: less than 10% of Africa's pre-colonial records survive. 5. The secret war against African science. Ethiopia's Kemetic medicine included vaccination techniques, yes, before the West. Suppressed fact: European colonizers banned African doctors from practicing to push Western superiority. The ugliest secret: Africa's real history was systematically destroyed to justify slavery and colonization. But oral traditions, artifacts, and brave historians are exposing the truth. Share this thread. Let's break the internet with real history. Africa's Biggest Secret, Part 3: The Lost Sea Kings and Stolen Technologies. 1. The African Vikings who ruled the oceans. The Swahili Coast Civilization, Kenya/Tanzania, dominated Indian Ocean trade with 300+ advanced ships centuries before Columbus. Secret fact: their mtape boats, made without nails, outmaneuvered Portuguese warships. Stolen legacy: Europe rewrote history to claim Africans never sailed. 2. The Forbidden Astronomical Observatories. Namoratunga, Kenya, 300 BC, was an ancient star calendar more precise than Europe's until the 1700s. Hidden truth: British colonists dynamited the site in 1900 to hide its sophistication. 3. The African Iron Man technology. Nok culture, Nigeria, 500 BC, created advanced steel furnaces 2,000 years before Europe. Suppressed fact: colonists melted down artifacts to erase proof of Africa's metallurgical genius. 4. The stolen African GPS. Tuareg nomads used Azalea solar navigation to cross the Sahara, a system later copied, uncredited, by Arab traders. Silenced history: French colonial maps erased their routes to control trade. 5. The Great African Space Connection. Dogon tribe, Mali, knew about Saturn's rings and Sirius B star for centuries long before telescopes. Cover-up: Western scientists called it luck, ignoring their advanced oral astronomy. The final secret? Africa's greatest inventions were stolen, buried, or credited to others. But the evidence is still here. Shipwrecks off Zanzibar proving African naval power. Smelting ruins in Niger showing industrial-scale steel production. Star maps hidden in Ethiopian monasteries. Now you know. This thread is digital resistance. Share it, break the lies. Want the full story? I'm compiling a banned history ebook. Comment free below to get it. Tag 3 people who need to see this. Let's trend #Africa's Untold History.